Hi everybody.
It's Mike and Tom.
Today we're in Roatan, Honduras, off the Celebrity Equinox cruise ship. And I wanted to share with you our experience booking this tour of the island through Victor Bodden Tours. It was highly recommended through TripAdvisor and on the Cruise Critic Forum. But when searching for it, I couldn't find exactly where the location was for the pickup point. So I wanted to create this little walkthrough of the port to show you where to find the tour and how fast it is to get off the boat and walk to the tour pickup point. In the port, there's a lot of fun little shops, and if you look over the railing on the left, you can see some fish. And we actually saw an octopus when we were walking to the tour pickup center. But you can see it's really maybe a minute or two from the ship's security to the pickup point, and it's the first booth on the left, and there'll be a sign saying Victor Bodden Tours. The tour that we booked was, I think, called the Fun and the Sun Tour. It was a 5-hour tour for a very reasonable price. I don't know if the price will change in the future, but you can see we went with a small group. I think there were 10 people altogether.
10, right?
And we got on the van here. It was actually a surprise because I was expecting a little tiny van. So this is a nice surprise. It was a pretty large minibus. We drove through town to explore the east side of the island, stopping at a couple places along the way. After touring the east side for about an hour, we stopped at the Victor Bodden offices, which also has their monkey zoo. They had several tour guides waiting to lead groups around the monkey enclosures, and I found the capuchin monkeys very curious about our camera here. Next they showed us this animal. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's like a cross with a raccoon and an aardvark, because he said it likes ants. These are spider monkeys, and you can see that their tails are almost like another hand that they use to grab onto things. Next we got to go into play with a couple capuchin monkeys, and I remember the tour guide said these guys were about 8 years old and can live up to 35 years, which really surprised me. They're pretty playful. They get everywhere.
So normally they would bring tours in groups of 4 into the enclosure there for your time to play with the monkeys, but our group had a lot of people who did not like to participate, so we got some extra time.
Actually, we booked the group tour, and our group, I think there were 10 people, but you can book private tours through the same company, and then you'll get to pick what you want to do for your whole day, and you'll get to spend more time with, spend as much time as you want with the monkeys, or split it with the beach or whatever.
So these guys were really cute, but they're nocturnal, they're lemurs. So we got to see them sleeping in their enclosure. I doubt you'll ever really get to see them awake, as again, they are nighttime creatures.
Next we went to see, I think these are macaws, right? Their enclosure was pretty big. They're beautiful in real life. The colors were so vibrant. And the tour guide said they're trained actually to jump on people's heads or shoulders.
Which, they've got these sharp little claws, but it kind of pinches your head. It's not too bad, though.
They just climb from one person's head to the next. Here we go. Oh, you have to put your head really close together. Oh. He's really cute.
The tour guide was really good about letting you get your pictures. So you sort of prep yourself there in advance and they give you plenty of time.
Here we're looking at another bird that he brought out, but apparently I was standing too close to the perch of the macaw and it just jumped on my head again.
For me, this next section was worth the whole price of admission. This is where we got to see the sloths.
Not just see them, we got to hold them.
To hold them, look at that. They just sort of pick them up and make them hug you.
Like they're flying.
These are the sweetest, most gentle creatures.
Even though they have super long claws.
Yeah, but you don't feel their claws at all because all they do is hug you.
I felt their claws actually.
Their fur there it's kind of a little bit wiry. But, I just wanted to pet it the whole time.
It was very calm. I'm surprised they're so friendly to people.
Now mine was a girl, and this is a boy that Tom got to hold. They were also about 8 years old.
And I guess the females are bigger. And they're also surprisingly light. I guess they're all fur.
And this was the one part of the tour that went by way too fast. I mean, it just seemed like in a flash it was over and they were taking their little sloths back to their little houses. But I would think this would be the time that you'd really want to get a private tour where you could perhaps spend as much time as you wanted with, whatever you wanted to see. In my case, it would be these sloths.
This is a baby deer. They had several deer there. I don't know if they're special.
You said it was a white-tailed deer.
Oh, is it? These deer were the last animal exhibit we saw.
Before heading to the beach.
On another bumpy van ride.
Very, very bumpy.
Included with the tour was supposed to be a 2-hour beach break at Bananarama, which was a beach resort on the West Bay Beach. And again, I wanted to find more information about this online, but the websites are pretty bad, not very informative. But if you were to book the lounge chairs separately, they would be $10 per person per day. So included with the tour, I thought was a pretty good value. Here's a view of the beach. This is West Bay Beach, or also called Tabyana Beach on some of the ship excursions. We put on our snorkeling gear and walked all the way down to the left side of the beach, which is a 5 to 10 minute walk from Bananarama. And you can see the amazing coral and incredible clarity of the water. I don't think I've ever seen such clear water with so many fish and beautiful coral. The coral was really, really amazing.
Water was very calm and easy to snorkel in. We had our own snorkel gear too, but there were plenty of vendors along the beach offering
rentals.
Yeah, rentals. You could even rent those little, what are they?
Power snorkel.
Power snorkels.
Yeah.
That would have been neat.
I don't think it was really necessary. The water was really calm.
Super easy to snorkel.
Yeah, but in some places it was a little shallow. So I think definitely you want some kind of protection, like a rash guard or something, because I rubbed up by accident against the rocks on my arm. And I guess the benefit of being so shallow is that the sun lights up everything pretty well, and the colors pop a lot better than even slightly deeper water. But lots of different colorful fish.
Look at the color in that coral. It's amazing.
And a lot of the snorkel excursions will actually take you here, but those cost a lot more. And they just anchor a little further out, and then you swim towards the shore. where we got in from the beach and just swam out probably only 20 or 30 feet or so before we started seeing all this coral.
How much time did we spend there?
You know, the tour says we're supposed to get 2 hours at the beach, but the other people on our tour who didn't snorkel at all, who just stayed at the beach resort on their lounge chairs, they voted to stay only like hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes. So
well, they first wanted an hour and a half, but fortunately an hour and 45 minutes would have ended the tour right at noon, so they thought that was easier for them to remember since they were the aging population. So we got that extra 15 minutes, which is actually, like Tom was saying, the 15 minutes short of what it should have been.
Yeah.
And the time just flew by.
Yeah, I wish we had about another hour. It was just gorgeous. And the sea was calm, and the temperature of the water was really good. And the tour guide said that normally this is the rainy season, so we got very lucky with a very sunny day. This is actually our third trip to Roatan. On the previous 2 trips, we just stayed at the port on the ship I think mainly because the first time we went, we looked at the gates and there were security guards there with machine guns, and that was just too scary for us. But definitely now that we've gone on this tour, I would definitely go again to snorkel here. Overall, I think we would probably book the private tour to spend more time with the animals, and then to spend more time at the beach, because those were the highlights for me.
So all in all, our 5-hour tour ended up being about 4.5 hours. An hour and a half of that was doing a city tour on the bus, about 45 minutes at the animal enclosures, an hour and 3/4 at Bananarama, and then another 30-minute drive back to the cruise ship.
I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative.
Make sure you're subscribed for more of our travel videos.